Long time ago, there lived a young greedy man, a young man by the name of Olamide. One day, while Olamide was out hunting, he heard the call of a beautiful bird. Olamide's mouth began to water at the thought of honey. He stopped and listened carefully, searching until he saw the bird in the branches above his head. Chitiki, 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 the little bird rattled as he flew to the next tree and the next. Chitiki, 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 he called, stopping from time to time to be sure that Olamide followed. After an hour, they reached a huge, wide fig tree. The bird hopped about madly among the branches. It then settled on one branch and cocked his head at Olamide as if to say, "Here it is. Come now, what is taking you so long?" Olamide couldn't see any bees from under the tree, but he trusted the bird. So, Olamide put down his hunting spear under the tree, gathered some dry twigs, and made a small fire. When the fire was burning well, he put a long dry stick into the heart of the fire. This wood was especially known to make lots of smoke while it burned. He began climbing, holding the cool end of the smoking stick in his teeth. Soon, he could hear the loud buzzing of the busy bees. They were coming in and out of a hollow in the tree trunk. Their hive. When Olamide reached the hive, he pushed the smoking end of the stick into the hollow. The bees came rushing out, angry and mean. They flew away because they didn't like the smoke, but not before they had given Olamide some painful stings. When the bees were out, Olamide pushed his hands into the nest. He took out handfuls of the honey heavy comb, dripping with rich honey and full of fat. White grubs. He put the comb carefully in the punch he carried on his shoulder and started to climb down the tree. The bird eagerly watched everything that Olamide was doing. He was waiting for him to leave a fat piece of honeycomb as a thank you offering to the honey guide. The bird flitted from branch to branch, closer and closer to the ground. Finally, Olamide reached the bottom of the tree. The bird perched on a rock near the boy and waited for his reward. But Olamide put out the fire, picked up his spear, and started walking home, ignoring the bird. The bird called out angrily, "Victor! Victor! Victor!" Olamide stopped, stared at the little bird and laughed aloud. "You want some honey? Do you, my friend? But I did all the work and got all the stings. Why should I share any of this lovely honey with you?" Then he walked off. The bird was furious. This was no way to treat him, but he would get his revenge. One day, several weeks later, Olamide again heard the honey call of the bird. He remembered the delicious honey and eagerly followed the bird once again. After leading Olamide along the edge of the forest, the bird stopped to rest in a great umbrella arm. Ah, thought Olamide, the hive must be in this tree. He quickly made a small fire and began to climb the smoking branch in his tent. The bird sat and watched. Olamide climbed, wondering why he didn't hear any sound, the usual buzzing. Perhaps the hive is deep in the tree. He thought to himself. He pulled himself up another branch, but instead of the hive, he was staring into the face of a leopard. Leopard was very, very angry at having her sleep so rudely interrupted. She narrowed her eyes, opened her mouth to reveal her very large and sharp teeth. Before Leopard could take a swipe at Olamide, he rushed down the tree. In his hurry, he missed a branch and landed with a heavy thud on the ground, twisting his ankle. He hobbled off as fast as he could. Luckily for him, Leopard was still too sleepy to chase after him. The bird, the honeyguide, had his revenge, and Olamide learned his story. And so, when the children of Olamide heard the story of the bird, they have respect for the little bird. Whenever they harvest honey, they make sure to leave the biggest part of the comb for the honey guide.